Well, good morning. Welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith, and how are you all today? I hope you're well. I want to talk today about the importance of separating yourselves from the greater world and doing it right now. I'm going to talk about three things that I jotted down that you need to be doing, and you need to be doing it right away if you haven't already done it. We have interesting times that we're living in, and more interesting times are coming our way, I think. And the challenges are just going to become greater and greater and greater. And, beyond challenges, they're going to be dangerous. And you need to be prepared for it. Just to let you, a couple of things to let you know, I probably won't be making another one until Monday. This is Good Friday. This is Resurrection weekend. So I probably, if nothing major happens, I won't be making another one until Monday. I will be putting a couple of messages over on the Stonemont Church channel. If you'd like to join us over there, we'd love to have you. We'll be talking a little bit about the sacrifice, the crucifixion of Christ and his resurrection on Resurrection Day, and the importance of that. So the link to that is down below, and love to see you. Separating yourself from, let me put on my peepers here, because I jotted down, I had written down, as I told some of you, things that can be done, things that you should be doing right now. And the lists were different for the people on the American Reversion channel than they are for Integrative Preparedness channel. And that is because the people over on American Reversion are more concerned and more involved and actually still fighting the fight, seeing if we can't pull this thing out before it goes completely down into the ditch. And so and there are a lot of things that can be done. All problems and all solutions are political, regardless of whether some like to admit that or not. The more kinetic, like people like to say, are simply forces that are used when other forces fail. So if you are at all interested on how to try to pull this thing out without going to the next extreme, that's where we'd love to. That's where I'd like you to be. Please come over to the American Reversion channel. And the list that I had over for them was just more than a page long. Here I just have three. And this is about, what you can do with as far as if you're simply looking about preparedness and survival. The first is to increase your independence from the system. The second is to increase your influence of the world around you. And the third is to build your own stonemont. Now I'm going to flesh each of those out. I should go back and say one of our commenters left a comment that I thought was just great. It's from Silverhawk, who leaves some great comments. He said, the Stonemont series, and that's what we're going to be talking about. But when I talk about build your own stonemont, we're going to be getting that to the third part of this. But I'll throw this in now. If you're wondering what stonemont is, it is the Stonemont series is my series of books that I wrote about how to completely prepare for, survive, and rebuild after a complete collapse of the system, of the world, of whatever. This has to do with an EMP, a CME. Yeah, I know those two are totally different. Okay, well, not totally, but they are. You have to read through the second one before you find out which it is. But it's about preparing for, it's about surviving, and it's about rebuilding afterwards. And that's what a lot of people. That's where a lot of people fall down. How does your rebuilding take place? And I'll tell you right now, your rebuilding begins with your preparation. Okay, so that's what we talk about the Stonemont series, the 6 books now: Reversion, the Revival, the Renewal, and Appeal to Heaven, the Blessings of Freedom, and finally the latest book that's out now, Blowing Everything Away, Hostages to Fortune. They are available on Amazon and fine bookstores everywhere in paperback or through Amazon on Kindle, naturally. And the link is down below, but you can now get your autographed copies from me through our website, stonemont.us, not .com, stonemont.us. I have always liked the US domain, and most of my personal websites and other things that I do are US, and so the Stonemont one is as well. Oh, anybody that orders the whole series through me, I also throw in the Stonemont notebook for no charge. And and so that's how you do it. stonemont.us if you want to order the books and tell me what you would like to have me autograph in it for you. By the way, just sent out a big load, ran out again. We still have a few orders that haven't been filled. So if yours don't come in the next week or so, don't worry. I just ordered a huge order yesterday. They'll be in, and as soon as I get them, I'll get them right out to you. So just hang tight and be patient, and they will get to you. So anyway, that's what Stonemont is. And I wanted to preface that, more say that before, what Silverhawk had said when we get to this point. The Stonemont series is a focus on family and a vision of prosperity with a plan to get there. That's exactly what it is. It's not just pie in the sky. It's not just, oh, do this and oh, do that. It is the plan. We're going to get to that in a minute. First, let's start off with the increase your independence. And what I mean by that is increase your independence from the system around you. Everyone is to one extent or another. Well, not everyone. I know some people who are not. Most everyone is dependent to one extent or another, most people to a great extent, on the world around them, on these interrelated, interactive systems of support over which they have little or no control. Excuse me just a second. Okay, allergy season is here. I didn't figure you all needed to watch me sneeze. So most people are dependent almost entirely on these other systems. You want to work yourself away from that. I know that we've talked about that. That is one of the basic premises of basic preparedness. Be able to satisfy all of your needs yourself. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean satisfying all your wants, okay? We can't always do that, although I address that in the Stonemont system, because at the end of each one of my videos, I always say we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. I have no desire, and neither should you, to live a basic subsistence, hard scrabble, survival life, which is very difficult and for most people horrible. There's millions of people living that kind of life around the world right now, and we have developed our society, our civilization, our communities to the point where we don't have to. And so you don't want to. As Silverhawk said, Stonemont is the plan on how to do that. But you want to separate yourself from that system, and that means the basics: food, water, shelter, protection, medical. Okay, all of those things. How tight are you on that? If you are weak on anything, you need to get on that right now. Get on it right now. Think about it. Sit down if you need to sit down with your spouse, with the people in your family. I sat down several years ago with the kids, and I said, kids, here's what Dad does, and but I know that I'm coming at this from my perspective, and I'm coming about it from a survival perspective, that I know what we need to survive and survive pretty well. But is there anything, that you'd like me to concentrate on, to prepare and to stock a little bit more, that I haven't been? And they said, yeah, SpaghettiOs and Oreos. There's not a darn thing wrong with stocking those things. Now, I don't know how long Oreos last. I don't stock Oreos. But, well, I can't. You bring Oreos into this house and they're gone before I get to them. But But SpaghettiOs, yeah, so we did that. And there's nothing wrong with stocking those kinds of things that would allow you to make the good things. Not everything has to be beans and rice. There's nothing wrong with putting together and baking some chocolate chip cookies. Yes, you can do that without electricity. Did you know that? Or without gas? Yes, you can do that. There's all sorts of ways to do that. Okay, but there's nothing wrong with living a good life and to live life well. And so you want to think about how do everything that I do today, make your checklist. Everything that I do today, what could I not do if, check it off. The economy collapses. The financial system collapses. I lose my job. An EMP, a CME, whatever it is. What would I not be able to do? And then address those. Get on those right now. Because we've never had in my recollection, and I'm a fairly good student of history, we've never had a time in our history of this country to where we have had so many things coming at us, serious things, at the same time. And really, it has gotten beyond our ability as a country, as an economy, as a government, as a people, to handle all those things effectively, at least quickly, okay? I'll say that. Now, we do talk about over on American Reversion, like I said, we talk about how to handle these things long term, but in the short term, any of these things, and especially some of these things put together, could take us to our knees. The second thing is increase your influence. Now, this goes beyond forming your group, your mag, your tribe, your anything like that. And as you've heard me talk, I just call it my circle of friends. Increase your influence. We've talked about this. I've talked about this sometimes when I talk about organized crime or the mafia, or the IRA, or some other groups, that their strength was internal cohesion and external influence. Okay, pulling in and holding to yourself can be dangerous. Okay, it might feel good as that you are there to defend against what's coming against you when it comes, but it does very little to keep it from coming against you. I talked about something like this a little bit. I don't remember what it was here or just on the Patreon channel, where I talked about security lighting. And the purpose of lighting is not just to light it up once the person is up at your house, with those automatic lights, but to light your house to keep people away, okay? And to give yourself, and there's alarms and things that we can put out there that let you know when people are coming toward you. Well, it's the same thing with the development of influence out about you. Cast a wider net. Most, or I don't know about most, but too many people in the prepper community, if there is a community, think about just kind of drawing in and holding to themselves and holding the rest of the world away. That doesn't. That means that when the world comes against you, you're all buttoned down. You have to defend against things that you didn't even know were coming because you didn't have your influence out there, and the influence didn't warn you. So you want to have your feelers out all the time. You want to be developing a relationship. You want to be developing influence so that, and this means, friendships. I've talked about the circles, the inner circle is the family. And the core of the family, yes, I know, there's family and there's family. There's family that's not in that core. and I've also said that good friends beat bad family. So, but you have, ideally you would have the family. You would have the core of the family. You would have the extended family. Then you would have what I call framily, and those are friends who are so good they have become family. Then you have friends. Then you have acquaintances. Then you have associates, and all these rings out there can help to protect you. They can buffer you, they can give you information, they can let you know kind of what's going on, and you can use those as resources when you need it. So extending your influence out far beyond, just a defensive position. Influence, can be an offense, And the best way to keep people from swinging at you is to keep them blocking your punches. So increase your influence beyond. And that's very uncomfortable for a lot of people in the prepper world, because a lot of people who consider themselves preppers kind of, because of that, feel, well, a lot of them begin with are introverts. Secondly, a lot of them, because of this posture, feel isolated. They isolate themselves, to be honest. And so that makes them feel isolated. You don't want to be isolated. You want to be isolated as far as being able, like I said, to first increase your independence from the system. You want to be able to go along just fine without depending on that system. So that's proper isolation. Improper isolation is when you divorce yourself from most of the world around you so that you're really not operating within it. And that can be real, real dangerous. Well, Steve, I don't like people. Well, that's up to you. They may not like you either. And then build your own stonemont. Build your own stonemont. There's the notebook. It all started with the first book. I'll show you this. It all started with my first book, The Reversion. And the story was not of a rich person. I get people too often commenting in the comments, and I set them straight. Well, not everybody has enough money to do that. Not everybody has blah, blah, blah. Here's why I can't do it, okay? A word to the person who says why you can't do it. You may as well stop listening right now, because you're not going to do it, okay? You could do it, but you've told yourself you can't, and so you won't, and so anything else I tell you is not going to help. So there we go. I've learned years ago you can't help everybody. It started with the reversion, and what it was a story that I wrote about a normal family who had, come from the suburbs, moved not out millions of miles out into the woods, but moved a little bit outside the suburbs, got a few acres to become more self-sufficient. Simple as that. When, a little farming, a little pond out back with, fish and just to live a life that, their kids could go out and be a little wild if they wanted to. And when everything fell apart, when everything collapsed, they were fine because they had positioned themselves to be fine. Not because they were rich, but because they were prepared. And with forethought. Okay, they were prepared because they hadn't bought a bunch of $150 knives. Okay, they hadn't bought a bunch of $3,000 ARs. They hadn't wasted money on the things that too many people who are into the preparedness do. They had simply lived a responsible life and prepared for self-sustainability. That's all it was. And as a result, they were able to help people then who they ran across and came to them. And as a result of that, a community started to be built. A community of people with like-minded, who were like-minded, who were accepted if they, had the same basic beliefs. And from that, 6 books so far of exactly how those communities develop, how they're run, the things that they run into. It's people around the world tell me it's the best series that they've ever read. Even my wife tells me that. She just walked back behind you all, so that's why I said that. Is it the best? Is it the best you've read, sweetie?
It's the best I read multiple times.
It's the best she's read multiple times, she said. And we do have people out there who have said that they read it the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th time, and every time they read through it, they find stuff that they hadn't seen before, because I pack everything you need to know about preparing for surviving, like I said, and rebuilding after a complete collapse, and you might need it. And I'll say something right here that on the Stonemont notebook, one of my favorite verses, if you want to know where to start with this, on the back of it, And I'll tell you right here, we're talking about building your own stonemont, so I will read on the back. It tells you a little bit, what is stonemont exactly? Stonemont is a world apart from the collapsing world surrounding it and the crumbling society that has devolved to the point where celebrity is valued over ability, corruption is tolerated while character is attacked, and death is promoted over life. At Stonemont, a literary, virtual, and real-world community, the foundation of faith, family, and friends supports the ideals on which our country was based, but from which it has strayed. Stonemonters share those views and find within the pages of the Stonemont series a world they prefer to the decadent and crumbling world around them. It is a world of personal responsibility, worship of God, dedication to family, contribution to community, compassion for and assistance to others, and a celebration of the human spirit. And down there at below, I put one of my favorite biblical verses. It's from Psalm 127, verse 1. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh in vain. Build your own stonemont. Build your own home. Ask God, as that says, ask God to guide it all and then do what He tells you. Follow His guidance. Do what you hear Him tell you in your heart. And then build that. Build your home. Build your family. If you don't have family, find a circle of friends and do it with them. I occasionally get people who will say, I don't have any family. There are people out there in the world. Find them. Become friends with them. Be discerning. Be discerning. But there are good people all around you. You just haven't found them. And for those of you who know, who are in a situation you can do this, build it. Live responsibly. Build your stonemont. Build a foundation in your family that enables you, when the time comes, to help others who need help. They will become your group. They will become your stonemont. And when you have your stonemont, you will be able to live separate. Going back to this very first one, increase your independence from the system. And it's not just about a place. It's not just about food. It's not just about guns. It's not just about any of these things. It's about a complete community, a complete lifestyle, a complete understanding under the direction of God. If you don't have that direction, you're not going to do well. Okay, that's it. Think about that. You need to separate from this world around you, not physically, because you still want to be able to have the influence. Remember number two. Increase your influence. You cannot do that if you separate yourself physically from the system. You need to separate your dependence from the system. Then you build your stonemont. So that's it for today. I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. Join us over on the Stonemont Church channel if you would like. I'll be putting up a message today, and then probably one on Sunday, on Resurrection Sunday. Well, I'll be reading a little bit about that, and we'd love to have you join us. Again, you can order the books down below from either Amazon, if you'd like, or from me through the stonemont.us, and remember that stonemont.us website, and the Stonemont Church channel is down there below. We'd love to see you. Until then, remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow, and I'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.